Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. This is our double header weekly training webinar. I know it's crazy. We had Wednesday live breakfast seminar training with One America. Thursday, we had a webinar just on the annuity side. And then here we are back today, Friday afternoon. Carrie is joining us and hosting this call with me, so it's going to be unique. It's going to be a special. We're going to try to keep this around 30 minutes, short to the point. But I want to make sure, most important, that you all get a lot of value here, a lot of nuggets, right? For once, we're not talking about a sales strategy, a carrier products, right? We're diving in and we are pulling the covers back on the life insurance and annuity brokerage industry. So this is going to be fun. I spoke to Carrie for many, many years. As you know, I've been doing this for almost 25 years. Carrie started the company in 1972. So together we have a ton of experience. And we've all been having these conversations. We have our weekly marketing meetings, and we hear these agent stories, right? And they'll call us. They don't know what to do. They're handcuffed to a certain company, product, upline, whatever it is. And they had no idea what they were getting into. And there's not much we can do, probably 50% of the time. So I always wanted to have a webinar, a training, and talk about some of the gray area, some of these myths, some of the rumors, some of the small print that our agents need to know about, right? Before working with an IMO, an upline, call it whatever you want, GA, MGA, BGA. But there are things you need to know. You need to ask these questions, and then you need to get the answers in writing, okay, from that upline, whoever he or she may be. So, for many years, we always try to do the right thing, and we always want to be transparent to our agents and agencies and run an ethical business, most important. And Carrie would say, no, we can't have a webinar. We can't expose our competitors, our competition. So finally, I convinced him to do the training that we're doing right now, and he agreed to it, but he said, we're just not going to mention any competitors' names, right? Which obviously makes sense. We don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but more important than any of that is we want to let you all know what to look for, right? What's a sign? What's the gray area? Because the stuff that we're hearing in 2024, even in the last few years, especially since COVID, some of this stuff is so backwards and so unethical, even illegal, that you all need to know, and we're going to point out these things to look for, okay? So take out your pen and paper, because you're going to want to jot some of this down. I know we have a bunch of agents listening live, and then I know a lot of you are probably going to listen when we send this out a couple of weeks from now, which is totally fine. If you have any questions, please call us. If you want to see our policy, or you want maybe something in writing from us about anything we're going over today, we have no problem doing that whatsoever. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to say is we also know, it's a fact, we get our LIMRA statistic reports every single year, and we know an average agent or agency, they work with at least 1 to 2 IMOs on the average, maybe 3. Okay, so it's okay. You don't have to do everything with us, even though we would love you to do that. Okay, but we know, we get it. Okay, maybe there's an exclusive contract or carrier or product, or maybe someone's giving you a great deal, or maybe they're working with you, giving you health clients, and you're going to sell life insurance, whatever it is, we get it, but you need to know what to ask for. And then, like I said, get it in writing. So what I'm going to do before we jump into the slides, I'm going to back up for a second. And I wanted to pull the covers back and talk about what happened like in the 80s and the 90s and then the early 2000s, and then, where we are today. Okay, very important stuff. So, and it's funny, we had a little meeting this morning too, and I met with Josh and some of our other marketers and Carrie, and we discussed, some of the things that were going on years ago. So I'm going to talk about this quickly, okay? And it's just good to have an eye open. Plus, if you're an agent out there in the field, you're going to come across clients that maybe had these older types of products, and now at least you'll know exactly what they are, so there's no fluff around the concept. So real fast, if you think back, I don't know how long you've been doing this, but I'm going to go back to, let's say, the 80s and 90s for a second. Back then, I remember UL just came out. Okay, they started talking about IUL even in the 90s, early 2000s. What happened years and years ago is agents were out there, marketers were pushing UL with a 16% illustrated rate, okay, on the current side and saying, hey, this is a lifetime policy. Meanwhile, 20 years later, that same rate went to 3%, 4%, 6%. Policies were blowing up. Clients were getting letters in the mail saying, hey, your $32 a month premium is now doubled, tripled, quadrupled, okay? Lawsuits exploding, policies exploding. We're getting phone calls. It was crazy. Okay. Now, obviously, we never got involved in that side of the market. Why? We wanted to do the right thing. We explained everything exactly the way it was. Okay. Now, ART term, decreasing term. Okay. There's still some of these term products around today that are, let's say, a 20 or 30-year term that are only guaranteed for 5 years. In fact, I heard Costco, I think, had a product with Protective. I'm not sure if it's still around, but this is important because if your client's saying, hey, I know your Banner Life term that you're proposing is $54 a month, but Costco has a product that's 40, pull the covers back. Okay. Look at that guarantee. Is it a guaranteed level term or is it one of these 5-year terms, right? That's illustrated out for 20, 30 years. And then meanwhile, year 6, the client can get a letter saying, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Client, you got to pay more premium. Okay. I don't know if you also remember this. There were, in fact, attorneys were involved in this, but there were big companies, financial institutions looking for unhealthy people to put a policy on. And they said, hey, you don't even have to pay any premium. Okay. We're going to pay the premiums based on a non-recourse loan. And then the strategy was sell the policy after 2 years. This was crazy. People were making $200,000, $300,000, hundreds of thousands. Some of the cases were close to $1 million. Okay, they were considered a wet paper life settlement. Okay, and we would get these calls too. Kerry always told me and taught me well. He said, stay away from this. I'm telling you, it's a matter of time. And sure enough, that part of the industry blew up. In fact, there were carriers that went down because of this. Vanishing whole life. Okay, the agents would show, and I know some marketers would teach agents, how to illustrate a vanishing whole life product where 10 years of premium would be paid in. Okay, and the client would think, oh, this is going to last forever. Meanwhile, year 11, boom, letter from the carrier saying, hey, we need another $1,500 to keep the policy in force. Okay, another lawsuit waiting to happen. Remember non-med life when it first came out? Okay, and this is back, in the 80s, 90s, the AIDS pandemic. Okay, they were writing basically AIDS patients. Okay, and there were a ton, an entire block of business that fell off. There was carriers that went away because of this business. So again, what does it tell you? In us, you always do the right thing, pull the covers back. Now you fast forward to today, right? And I would say COVID, okay, had a lot to do with this. The younger generation, okay, maybe looked in and said, you know what, I can make a ton of money in this industry. All of a sudden, we had a bunch of these MLM type agencies. I know some of them have been around for many, many years, but lately they're popping up all over the place. So that's where we are today. Okay, there's these agencies, they're saying, hey, I'm an IMO, I'm a BGA, I'm an MGA, I'm a GA. Okay, there's no one out there that says, oh, Bill Levinson and Kerry Levinson, their agency produced $50 million of paid premium this year. Here's your IMO stamp. Okay, anyone could say you're a BGA, an IMO, an MGA. Okay, these are terms held very loosely. Okay, again, you have to do your due diligence. I would look at Google reviews. I would pull up the Department of Insurance website. Check out who you're working with. Okay, who's putting some great deal together for you. There's no free lunch in this industry, period. Okay, if you think about it, right? we all have to work with these insurance companies. All these insurance companies have a reinsurance company. Okay. The cost of insurance per dollar is a certain amount within pennies. Okay. And the company has to make their money. The agent has to make their money, and the client still has to get a good product. All right. So at the end of the day, when you hear about a competitive product that's paying 150% commission, okay, you got to pull the covers back. Something doesn't make sense. Okay. Now, I'm not saying there's not a final expense product out there that's paying 140, 150%. Okay. But there's a lot of fat built into that product because there's no free lunch. So yeah, you might make that money, okay, and you might crush it for a month or two or three, and then all that business is going to be replaced because there's other final expense products that are half the price, okay, that maybe pay 90% commission, 100% commission. But it comes back to you doing the right thing for your client and us doing the right thing for our agents and showing you the most competitive products and carriers, okay, where it's not just based all on your commission, okay? Your commission is so important. You got to feed your family, of course, but again, when it's a head scratcher, and what does that mean? Okay, it means going back to that 150% example, you got to go into the covers, okay? Make sure you're doing the right thing because it's going to come back to you and everything will come to the surface. It's a matter of time. I can promise you that. If you've been around for a while, you know what I'm talking about is 100% fact. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's jump into our presentation. Just wanted to shed some light there. I want to introduce Kerry, my father, and thank him for taking the time. Kerry, do you want to say hello to the audience?
Absolutely. Bill, thank you so much for having me join you today. This is an absolute pleasure. I rarely get to speak to some of our agents on the webinars, and I consider it an honor and a privilege. And hopefully, I'll help you walk away with some ideas today that will help you with your career down the road as well, in addition to Bill. So, okay, I'm just honored to be here, and Bill, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you, Kerry. So what we're going to do, I have a few slides in front of me, and then I'm going to have Kerry start us off with the official presentation, and then I'll end the presentation, and we'll put a bow on this. And then, like I said, call in after or use that Q&A pane as we go with any questions, comments, feedback. We want to hear from all of you. Okay, let's jump right in here. What I want to do, first and foremost, if you haven't met myself and Kerry Levinson face-to-face, I encourage you, and even if you have met us and we're BFFs, that's even better. We treat our agents like family. We take it very seriously, okay? And I want you to make sure that you are RSVP'd and in person live at our Expo 2025, April 11th. So jot that down, RSVP as soon as we are done. It's going to be a great day. We're bringing in all of our top life and annuity carriers, some great keynotes, agent panel. We're going to make this bigger and better and different than prior expos, and we're promising that, and here we are in record saying that. So this is going to be a day you don't want to miss. Best part on the bottom right, you can qualify for free night, even 2 free nights at our beachfront resort, plus round trip airfare from anywhere in the country. Then if you're new with us, you haven't written an application, no problem. It's free as long as you're an active Levinson agent. Okay, so make sure you RSVP. We're capped at 300, and if we hit 300 this year, we're going to be closing this off by 2025. Okay, by January. So you got to make sure you RSVP. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to do next is talk about a perfect example. Younger guy. I just did this podcast interview, and we launched it this week. Alec is a 29-year-old GA out of Tampa, Florida, and Alec was with one of these, and I'm not going to say names, a typical MLM agency or group, right? Some gray area, some small print, if you will. This was a 1-hour interview where I picked his brain, and I wanted also the younger generation to get a feel of how to operate in this business, right? And see if you could learn, move the needle, and do things the right way and be transparent, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're 19 or 77. It's all about looking at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day and saying, Bill, you know what? You did the best you could today. That's it. It's not rocket science. Anyway, we'll send that out in the thank you email as well, and you can take a look. Let's keep moving forward. So these are some of the new products that are coming out or just came out. And I want to make sure, right, going back to doing the right thing for your client, that you have access to, with Levinson, thousands of products, hundreds of, literally over 100 carriers now on the life annuity and supplemental side. Here's the best part on this slide. Check out the middle circle, Emeritus. Okay, talking about brokerage versus, let's say, the career channel, where the agents are trained that they can only sell 2 or 3 or 6 products, right? Just from that company, and these are the best. Okay, we know that's not always the case. Okay, you have to go to different carriers for certain niches, maybe an underwriting niche. Okay, maybe it has to do with an IUL. You need to have access to the most competitive products, period. So anyway, Emeritus now is opening up the career side and the brokerage side. So you're going to, under Levinson, being an agent broker with us, MGA, GA, whatever it is, you'll have access to both sides, which includes the whole life, IUL, term with living benefits, disability, annuity side, everything. Okay. And we're launching in November, and then we're going to have a official launch webinar with our Emeritus VP on the 5th of December. Okay, so just around the corner. One America just launched a new product. In fact, that's why we had the breakfast seminar training. SBLI, bottom left, new final expense. Top right corner, Allianz with the improved IUL. And in fact, they just increased their non-med limit as well. Bottom right corner, Transamerica. We launched this just, 10 days ago with their instant decision final expense product all the way up to age 85. Excellent story there with Trans, but these are all new products, ton of value add for our agents and their consumers, things you need to know about. Let's keep moving forward. So what I want to do next is talk about what's most important to us, which is our customer, our agent. Okay, and this is an important first question, right? You need to make sure for that upline. Okay, and like I said, don't think to yourself, oh, they're a BGA, they're an MGA, they're big time. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Make sure that they're an IMO, okay, and they're reporting to the carrier. There's not 22 layers between you and the GA, right, and another 10 between the GA and BGA. Okay, very important questions to ask. You need to know the facts. These are our agent testimonials. Okay, you're our customer. You're our number one. We also don't sell here at Levinson and Associates. We're not retailers. We are 100% wholesalers, distributors. So you, the agent, are our customer. I say it every week. So top left corner, this you're not going to get from most IMOs. Customer service, right? Think about call centers even overseas. Think about automated voice machines, right? You can't even get a human being on the phone that knows what they're talking about. I love this from Lee, top left corner, 6:30 p.m. on a Friday night. Josh is still running quotes. Unbelievable, right? That just came in. I love that. By the way, this is all on our Facebook page or on our Google reviews page. Right, top right-hand corner, RJ was kind and knowledgeable. He offered suggestions that I didn't even know existed. He exceeded my expectations. Talk about customer service, okay? Bottom left, thank you in the Levinson group for all the hard work you guys do to support your agents. I just got a YouTube account and I'll post my video. Patricia, bottom right corner, Levinson is the most resourceful company I have ever worked with, and I've been with a few. I can stop looking for an IMO that I can count on for support. You guys are amazing. Nikki, that's it. It tells the whole story. And by the way, I'm not sitting here saying we're 100% perfect and we're the absolute best thing since sliced bread. No. What I'm saying is 99% of the time, we are almost perfect in every single area or corner of the industry as far as an IMO goes. And for that 1% chance we make a mistake, guess what? Me or Carrie are here to jump on the phone and try to turn that negative into a positive. That's my promise to you, and that's on record. Okay, and I think that's what separates us from our competition. Let's keep moving forward. I want to jump into the feature presentation. Carrie's going to start us off and take the wheel. What we're going to do, very simply done, we're going to show us, left-hand side, and what are we hearing about the others, our competitors. Carrie?
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, let me just backtrack for 1 second. And going back to the expo, our annual expo, I just wanted to mention that in giving away the hotel rooms and giving away the complimentary round trip airfare, your premium, your business that counts toward that award actually begins October the 1st through March 1st of 2025. So keep in mind, any business that's written and placed during that time period will count toward you staying in the hotel where the expo is for either one night or two nights. And in some cases where you did the third tier of production, which is 70,000 a premium, we will pay for two nights in the hotel and round trip airfare. And we have an agency in Hawaii, and they make it just about every year. So we fly them in, and it's our pleasure to have them join us at our expo. So keep that in mind. Any production that you're doing right now until March 1st will count toward those awards. And of course, to get into the expo is 100% complimentary. This is just an add-on that we give to our agents to say, you know what, if you want to come the day before, you want to stay an extra day after the event, we would love to have you as our guest. So any production that you're doing right now till March 1st will count. That's annuity business and life business as well. Okay, let's get down to the nitty gritty here. As Bill said several times, we are not saying we are, the only IMO in the world that does 100% of the business. No, we know that the average agent works with more than one IMO, and that's totally fine. The only point of this webinar today is that we want to impress upon you some of the advantages and disadvantages that you're exposing yourself to in dealing with an IMO, period. Okay, so let's kind of take a couple of pieces here at a time, and let's discuss them for a minute or two. All right, first, under us, working with Levinson and Associates is 100% complimentary. We do not charge any membership or service fees whatsoever. If you decide you want to get contracted with us, with one company or 11 companies, and you start writing business with us, okay, and then you see the way that we treat our agents with the service that's unparalleled, and you want to stay with us, that's fine, okay? We will give you fair and honest compensation, unparalleled service, and as Bill said, we offer close to 100 life companies and over 30 annuity companies. There is never a charge. You will never get a bill in the mail that says, hey, you owe us $250 because you're doing your life business with Levinson. No. As long as it's working for you, as long as you want to continue to do business with us, we are here for you. We have 23 full-time employees that are here to help you in any and every way that you may need. So keep that in mind. There's never a charge, never a fee to do business with us. In some cases, there are other IMOs that will charge you a membership or service fee just for the privilege of working with them. And these, incidentally, are typically non-refundable, even if you make a choice to no longer do business with them. Hey, I decided to move to ABC IMO. I don't think I'm going to work with you guys anymore. Oh, well, you lost that $300 fee that you gave us. Too bad. That's just the way it works. So just kind of keep, as Bill said, roll the covers back, take a look, know what you're getting into before you make a commitment. And also, as Bill said, I will be more than happy to send anybody in any state. We are licensed in every single state. I will send any agent an email that basically says, we welcome your business, but if in fact you decide you found something that you think is better with someone else or another IMO, we will be more than happy to release you, and there never ever will be a charge. Okay. At Levinson and Associates, we pride ourselves on providing best-in-class service. We have live employees answering the phones and getting back to you the same day. It's amazing how many times, and I speak to agents all day long. If I'm not speaking to an agent, I'm speaking to an underwriter trying to get a better deal for an agent on a case. But I hear from agents all day. I can't believe you guys actually every time I call you answer the phone. The other IMO I deal with, sometimes it takes 3 days to get a call back if I get one at all. Okay, so again, I'm not touting our horn. I just want you to know when you call us, somebody will pick up the phone. Okay, very, very important. In some situations, with most other IMOs, service is not their main concern. All right, just send us the business, guys. That's all we want. Okay, if we don't answer the phone, it's no big deal. All right, so but again, keep that in mind. And if in fact you do make a call, if you need an illustration, if you need some service, again, and I say this because I hear it from agents. It can take 4 days to get an illustration, and sometimes maybe never. Okay, so I think that's very, very important. We have 23,000 agents in every state, as far as total, that are contracted with us with at least one insurance company. All right, you will never ever call this office and not have a live person get back with you. If that's the case and you do have to leave a message, we'll get back to you within minutes. That just means that everybody was on the phone, but that rarely happens because there's so many of us here. Okay, let's move on. We offer same day releases as long as you are in good standing. Very, very important. I have said to larger agencies in the past, and I have said it to smaller ones as well. If you decide you want to make a commitment to Levinson and try us out, okay, and then you decide, you know what, this really wasn't what I thought it would be, I will give you an email the day that you join us, the day that you get contracted with your first company. All right, I will send you an email that says, I hereby release you from this agreement with Levinson and Associates with Protective. Okay, and then if you decide you don't want to stay with us for whatever reason, just send me that email back and you will be released. The only thing that we ask is that in order to get released, you don't have any debits with any companies. Needless to say, if you owe Allianz $2,409, we will not release you until that debit is paid in full. But as long as you're in good standing, as long as there are no issues, you absolutely are free to go as quickly as you came. And I will be more than happy to send any new agent an email stating that. Most other IMOs do not release you and make you jump through hoops should you wish to leave them. How do I know that? Why do I say that? Because I hear it every day. I want to write with Emeritus with you guys, but my old IMO won't give me a release. What do I do? Well, in most cases, we wait 6 months. We offer that agent an alternative company or companies that have a similar portfolio, and then they can begin doing business with us. And then at the end of 6 months, they don't need a release. They're free to go and come to Levinson for that particular company. But we always have an alternative. Keep that in mind. It's very, very important. Just because you're being held back by another organization, that does not mean by any sense that you can't do business with us. Okay? Very important. Next, Levinson and Associates remains committed to being your back office wholesaler. We do not sell on a retail level. In 53 years, we do not sell policies to clients. If we get a call, hey, I heard about you guys, I'm interested in buying some insurance, and if it's not an agent, we do not sell policies. We just absolutely, it's not our thing. As far as being committed to being your back office, we have 3 distinct departments that will help you And basically what we say to you is that for those of you who are new to us or are not even with us at this point, we say to you, you write the app and you spend the commission. We do everything else in between. We have a licensing and contracting department which will make sure that you're contracted with the carrier that you want to be licensed with. And we also make sure that you're licensed and contracted in the states that you want to do business with if you choose to do business in your non-resident state. We will handle all of that. We also have the case management department, which they're kind of the middleman between the insurance company and you. Okay, you'll get statuses on a weekly basis, ensuring that you know what's going on with every application that you have pending until it's approved, until you get paid. You are guaranteed to get a weekly status report. Very, very important. And then the third department that we offer you, we have 10 men and women in our marketing department that will give you any quotes that you need, answer any questions that you may have, anything from the simplest term quote to the most complex premium financing quote. So you are taken care of from every single perspective. You can't do a thing in our business that we don't provide complete service to help you get it done. As I say, write the app, spend the commission. We are your back office service department. Very important that you know that about Levinson and Associates. There are other IMOs that have been known to sell on a retail level, which is a major conflict of interest. How could we comfortably sell when we have committed, dedicated, hardworking agents trying to make a living by selling life insurance? If an IMO is loyal to his field force and understands what agents are doing and how they're helping the public and how hard they're working, there is no way that an IMO should rightfully sell a policy, I don't care how big or small. That's very, very important. And you can always take to the bank that we will never become your competition. Okay, let's move on. And I'm going to turn it back to Bill at this point.
Okay, thank you, Kerry. So just a few more things here. We're not going to keep everyone too long. One of the bullets Kerry mentioned is, and we hear this and see this all the time, is you'll have like one or two people, they'll call themselves partners, and they happen to be the BGA or the IMO, so to speak. Meanwhile, there's no staff. There's no contracting department, new business department. Okay, and it's like a one or two person show. Obviously, who's going to service you in your business, right? What they're going to do is, oh, Bobby, Susie went away on a vacation. Here's the 800 number to the carrier. Okay, boom, red flag, no good. The top left corner, here's where we've seen this recently, and this is crazy. You need to know never to do this. Big red flag. We've seen IMOs that have a webinar similar to this, but maybe they're talking about a product or strategy. They're telling their agents to invite their clients to the IMO's webinar. That's crazy. Why is it crazy? Okay, it sounds easy, yeah, for an agent to see an email blast. Oh, I can just send my clients to Bobby's webinar. Well, guess what happens? Okay, now let's say Bobby, the IMO, so to speak, right, has a webinar with One America. Okay, and they're talking about this strategy, life with long-term care, annuity with long-term care. And let's say 100 agents are on that call and they sent thousands total of their clients. Okay, so now there's 1,400 people on the webinar and most of them are consumers. Guess what's going to happen? When that webinar is over, those consumers, they're not going to remember to call you. They're going to say, wow, I'm so impressed. This Bobby has so much intelligence. He really knows the product inside and out. I'm going to call Bobby's office. Now, how is Bobby going to remember, oh, this is Bill Levinson. He belongs to Charles Smith upline or Susie Smith, GA. Okay? First of all, number one, going back to the issue earlier with an IMO not selling, Okay? Most of these IMOs, if they invite your client or prospect to their webinar, big red flag, they either have their own agent who happens to be a cousin of theirs or who knows, selling to your prospects. What happens 2 months later, okay, with hundreds of prospects or thousands of prospects on? Maybe the consumer said, oh, a month or two or 3 or 4 later, oh, you know what? I do want to buy this product. Let me call Bobby IMO, right? Let me call his agency because they were the one who hosted the webinar. Okay. And now, oh, yeah, I'm going to put in $250,000 into this product. Bobby's going to sell it. Or Bobby's cousin, who's the agent down the street, they're going to sell it. Never invite your prospects and clients to an upline's webinar. You invite your clients and prospects to your own webinar, and the upline should be showing you how to host these webinars for your own clients. Big red X right there. I've seen and heard this happen so many times your head would spin. Okay? Never, never fall for that one. On the bottom, okay, here we talk about full compensation in renewals, where this is a full pass-through from the carrier to you. Never, ever depend on an upline to pay you commissions, okay? Or if they say, oh, by the way, you're not agent of record, but we pay 80% referral fee, or they call it commissions. If you're depending on an upline to pay you commissions and you're not agent of record, big red X. Okay, the short window may look great. The big picture looks horrible because they own your book of business. Okay, what happens in 10 years if you want to retire and you want to sell your book of business? It's worth nothing because they are the agent of record. How do you service your consumer when they need a beneficiary change? If you're not agent of record, you're going to call into the home office. They're going to say, well, excuse me, I don't know who you are. Okay, but ABC Financial is agent of record. I need to speak with someone there. Okay, big red X. You got to be aware of these things. You got most products these days pay full renewals, even some term products. Okay, yeah, sometimes it's only 1 or 2 or 3 points, but that adds up. Okay, I'm hearing about these uplines holding all renewals, even on permanent products. Okay, big red X. Okay, most permanent products, disability, critical illness, they pay full renewals, typically for 5 to 10 years. Some pay a lifetime of renewals. Ask the question, make sure you're getting paid directly from the carrier, period. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, real fast, what I want to talk about now is another big one, MLM. Okay, this is happening more and more and more. In fact, I couldn't believe this. At our meeting on Wednesday, I had an agent come up to me and he says, Bill, I know you always say to be careful, ask the right questions. You know, you talk about these MLM groups, so to speak, and you won't believe what happened. I have a contract with one of these groups that you were talking about. And like I said, I never mention names, okay? And he said, what they're doing now is they're convincing us not to sell more product. They're convincing us to recruit more agents, okay? Unlicensed agents. So can you imagine this? They want them to recruit unlicensed agents. Why? So that person will open up their book of prospects, family members, network to the licensed agent. And then when the licensed agent makes a new sale, they're supposed to pay the unlicensed agent a commission. That is illegal and unethical. Okay? That's a big red X. This is crazy. I can't believe they've gotten away with it for this long. Okay? What do we do here? We try to do the right thing for you all. We give you the best product for the client. If you want to recruit, we have a GA recruiting platform, but it's done the right way, okay, where you control your downline, not us. Your downline has to be licensed to get a commission. That's the only legal way to do it, okay? So you got to be aware of these things. The agent of record, I mean, I heard, and I won't mention the name. I know you probably have heard about it. They have a platform similar to ours in Show Me Now Direct. It's very similar, but you are not the agent of record. They are, and they pay you a referral fee. You, the agent, okay? How do you service the agent? And then what I also hear is they go back 6 months to a year later and they cross-sell to your clients. Do you think they pick up the phone a year later and say, Bill, guess what? Susie just bought a critical illness policy, $100 a month, okay? $800 commission. They're not going to tell you that. They're going to keep the override, the commission, and the renewal. How are you going to keep track of all this? It's impossible unless you're the agent of record. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, real fast. I'm going to talk about, let's see, I have my last slide for the presentation and then two more, and we'll get everyone out of here in about 5 to 6 minutes. So this is important, commission schedules, okay? I've been hearing, especially from the younger generation, oh, do you have a 150 level, a 170 level? And our rule is, hey, we will match or beat any commission schedule as long as it's carrier compliant, okay? If that's where you're at today, we're going to match or we're going to beat it, okay? That's 100% a fact. What we see is an Excel spreadsheet, okay, from a certain upline, and it will say 150%, 130%. And I know these carriers, they're traditional carriers, brokerage carriers that max out at 105. I'm saying, how are they paying 130? Okay, this is higher than the top level in the world. How are they doing it? So of course, in small print, it says, oh, when you hit $100,000 of paid premium in 2 months or 3 months, or $1 million in 6 months, or you have to jump through hoops. And then, by the way, you're not agent of record either. Okay, if an upline gives you a commission grid, okay, that means absolutely nothing. You need to know what rank and schedule you are appointed at with that specific carrier, not the upline. Very, very important. Ask the right questions, okay? Some IMOs are only pushing 2 or 3 carriers with the highest commissions. Got to be careful. Why? I said this in the beginning. If the product has a lot of fat built in, right, very expensive products, because the commissions are so high, your book of business will be replaced. It's a matter of time. Another agent's coming in the back door. They're selling the right product to the right client, doing the right thing, making a little less commission. But guess what? Your product just got replaced. That's causing a chargeback. Now you owe money. Do the right thing, always. Bottom left corner, I hear this all the time. Hey, there's another IMO. They're giving us free leads. I say, wow, that sounds great. And they're the lead vendor too. And they say, oh, yeah, they have great leads. Okay. Did you do your Google review check, DOI check? They're like, no, but I have a friend that's using them. Okay. Let me know what you think. 3 to 4 months later, they come back. Sure. They get paid 30 to 50% commission. Okay. They're not agent of record. And they're getting B and C leads that were sold 2 to 3 to 5 times over to their other agents. Okay. Or given out to their other agents. I hear many stories about this. You're always better off maximizing your commission contract, your level, okay? And then using a third-party lead resource, never combining the two, okay? For the few IMOs that are a lead vendor and an IMO, we hear horror stories about them selling used leads over and over and over again. Check out agent reviews. That's going to tell you the whole story. Let's keep moving forward. What I also want to talk about real fast, how to get started with us. And you said, hey, Bill, you know what? I love what you said. You'll match or beat commissions. Okay. Yes, we will do that 100% of the time as long as it's a carrier compliance schedule. And that's your level today. And we confirm that by getting your agent number. And then we reach out to our carrier VP because we have an IMO contract. Very easy. Then with your first app, we have cash for contracting. We give you $100 all the way to 500, and or I should say either or, free orphan leads with your first paid app if you transfer your contract to Levinson. Okay, let's keep moving forward. We're going to send all of this out in the thank you email. This is our webinar training schedule, which is what you're on right now. Just a few things I want to point out that's upcoming. On the 30th of October, we have our F&G relaunch with our VP on joining us. Just under that, our agents requested a disability 101 training for an hour. So we literally brought in our SVP at Assurity just to dive into DI 101 and show you everything that's available. White collar, blue collar, graded, guaranteed issue, direct to consumer, DI, all the above. Just under that, we're bringing in Corebridge Financial. It used to be AIG. as you know, for our Q4 kickoff training. That's going to be a big one. And then on the bottom there, especially if you're a health agent right now, you definitely want to take a look at Manhattan Life. They have some awesome supplemental products. This is on our Insure Me Now direct platform. Comes with a free scholarship, every policy for your consumer, and then $100 for your first application with Manhattan Life on top of your great compensation and renewals, folks. Okay, full pass through. That's on the 21st. Let's go to our last slide here, and then we'll put a bow on this. I just want to say I hope you all enjoyed this. I also want to say, always, I know we talked about a lot today, and there's a lot of moving parts to this business. If you have confusion, some gray area, you want to reach out to myself, to Carrie, to any one of our marketers. We encourage you to do that. Okay, we're typically here till 8, 9 p.m. every night. Someone is here. Okay, our normal hours, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Eastern time, but we have marketers in 3 different states now. So you're bound to get someone, even if it's after hours. Pick up the phone anytime, ask questions, even if you're not active yet. There's no free lunch in this business. I said it before, we're coming around full circle. If something sounds a little too good to be true, right, we all know it probably is, okay? Ask questions, kick the tires. Google is your friend, all right? Just go online, say, hey, ABC Financial, agent reviews. What are others saying about them? All right. If there's 100 5-star reviews and 1 bad apple, okay, that's not so bad. All right. But if half the agents are saying bad things, the other half are okay, that's bad. Okay. Pull the covers back. We're here to help every step of the way. Our quote for Positive Tuesday: embrace change, learn to pivot, and make resiliency your own superpower. And you're going to do just fine in this industry. Yeah, it might take you a little longer to do things the right way, but it'll never come back to you. You'll have a sustainable business. You'll be able to sell in 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, or give it to your children, grandchildren, helping clients. You have clients reach back out. Hey, Bill, you're the man. You gave me the best policy. Or you have a child that maybe you suggested an IUL. They just got $1 million death benefit, tax-free check. Okay, now they're referring their whole family and network to you by doing the right thing. Okay, that's all it takes. And by the way, you're going to make a nice, healthy commission and renewal when you do the right thing. Okay, there's no free lunch. Let's have a great rest of your Friday, great weekend, great selling. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time.